Well, they can't hear me out of breath. So I'm going to stab you. There we go. Sorry about that. OBS is always silly a little bit. So whenever you unplug a device like I do, OBS just sort of says, you know what, he doesn't want to use the microphone he used last time. Let's pick the microphone like input from the Mac Pro that's like optical audio in. Let's just use that instead. So that happens. Let me restart this. So welcome to Open Talk, episode number 2. Hope you guys are doing well. We have over 35 people in the chat here. So my goodness, that's a lot of folks here. So thank you very much for spending some of your Sunday with us. I'm going to introduce our guest, James, who is a repeat offender here on the show. So he has somehow managed to accept my invite for a second show here. So we're going to add him in a second. You may know him from Twitter and Instagram as Fabulous Hyper Talking. So let me add in James here, and hopefully his audio will work unlike mine. There we go. James, say hello.
Hi, Steve.
Let's see
Thanks
if your audio
me
works.
again.
Of course, of course. Happy to have you. It's always fun to be talking to you and looking at your shelves of goodies.
I'm like, it's almost like looking in a mirror sometimes. All this crap behind you and all this crap behind me.
Yeah, maybe if we could open a portal and I could just go there and grab some goodies, you could come here. We just have an infinite exchange. Oh boy.
Mostly of Umax items.
Yes, exactly. I'm happy to have an equal exchange of Umax items. You go have a Macintosh clone rental service. So, what have you been up to? Anything fun recently?
Well, I did a bit of getting ready for this because I thought it'd be fun to make sure we had some interesting things to share. And I really wound myself up with trying to get some stuff going. We can talk about that later. And I was just looking at the computer that I wanted to show, and I mean, I'm going to have to share I got my hopes up. I thought it was all going well, and then I just looked a second ago, and there's like the same error message like a million times down the screen. So I'll try not to bore everyone later with what I'm talking about with this computer, but I'll take you through the briefest of stories about everything that hasn't worked.
Yes, please, because whatever hasn't worked for you, I think you might be able to help others.
Maybe. Just fiddling around with that, and then otherwise I've got my Quadra set up ready for another thing later. My beloved Quadra 700, that's ready for maybe a little bit of flying later that we could have a go at. I did a practice flight last night. I didn't bother attempting to land.
You're not throwing the Quadra out the window, I hope.
No. It's okay. The Quadra is safe. And otherwise, not a huge amount going on. I've been no, I don't think I've run out of things to buy on eBay, so that's a problem, obviously.
That's a good thing though for your wallet. That's
yeah, no, it's the best thing. No, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, and I see Action Retros in the chat there, and there was a bit of he's clearly up to some stuff with Next Step, and I took
very
a bunch
jealous of
photo.
that.
Yeah, and I loved the little libretto running. Did you get Next Step on there, or just Rhapsody? I can't remember now.
I think it was Rhapsody, but yeah, he could correct us in the chat. Yeah. It's really funny because I'm sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say I've got Rhapsody here too, and I've got a libretto and Rhapsody and Next Step. Maybe I should. I clearly am doing all the wrong things.
Well, it's funny because a few months ago I got a libretto from someone who was moving, and I loaned it to my friend Mike from Mike's Mac Shack, and he has it, and it's funny because all of a sudden all these people like LGR and Sean are doing libretto videos, and I'm like, mine is inaccessible. I can't get it.
Oh no! Yeah, they're great. Like, I think we talked about it a bit about it last time, but I don't even remember why I bought it. It was a really, really, really long time ago, and forever it was my only Windows computer.
Wow.
I probably had some idea in mind for it that I never got round to, which is typical of what happens, right?
Oh,
Yeah. You get bits for a project and then you're like, wow, what was that going to be? I need to keep like some sort of filing system.
And then when you have the time for it, where is that one part that was so hard to find that I swear I put it in this corner or in this box or in this bag, and now it's not here?
Oh. Like, this room has some organization. Like, I have drawers with like labels on and stuff, but I spent about 20 minutes just looking for a microfiber cloth to clean some dust or something.
Yeah, I feel your pain. I have.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you losing things. I ordered the DB19 connector, the female socket, for an Apple IIe cables for my Macintosh Apple IIe card. I ordered that ages ago because they're really hard to find apparently. And so now there's a guy selling them on eBay. I almost bought one. And I'm like, wait, let me look again because it wasn't where I thought it was. And thankfully, I found it, but it was like one of those things where. They're just almost impossible to find these days.
That's just reminded me that I have bought recently in the last year, because I'm so forgetful and I've forgotten. I've got a database of nearly everything, but I don't have a database of any of my magazines. And 3 times I have bought a magazine I already own in the last 6 months. It's like so annoying. I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Saw what Mingo's saying in the chat. I have a drawer that I've literally labeled projects to complete. I was in it today, and it's got like, kits of parts. But at least past me thought to write on the kit of parts like what this is for. Like, this is for fixing X or replacing Y. I can't remember what else, but yeah, it's.
So we're all guilty of that.
Why I was talking about Next Step is because, Action Retro is obviously up to some sort of video. I don't know what his plans are, but I took a bunch of pictures of my Next Step, Open Step, some random Next manuals, my Next Station manuals,
Nice.
my Next Station and my Cube, and some of the peripherals to show how they're all branded with the Next logo on. Like, it's really quite fun. Actually, I'll show you. Like, even the I've got a couple of cables here. It is so ridiculous. Like, I mean, this is quite Jobsian, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's the cable that goes between the computer and the monitor, which carries audio, video, power, everything, because again, jobs. And then, like, this is just the power cable, right? This is just an IEC lead, and even that, it's got the little ribs that you get on the case of the Cube and on the Next Station, and it's got Next logo, and it's just a power cable.
That's
totally bonkers.
Although, Sean, I know you love the cable, but you put an Apple sticker over your mouse. Next logo. Now, I know it was temporary. I'm just giving you a hard time for it. But also want to just, in the chat, Brian is a good friend of mine. I just put in the link to Brian's channel. It's an up-and-coming channel. Please consider subscribing to Brian's channel. I put the link in there. I'm going to spam it again, because why the heck not? And James, you're getting a lot of love in the chat. So I say hi to James on behalf of everybody. So that gives... That gives me a bit of an outlet there.
Hi, everyone.
There you go. That hi was specifically for the person or persons who asked for it. Oh boy. But yeah, the next stuff, kind of like ADC or HDI 45 or whatever cursed interconnect cable.
And that was back in 1988 that he started doing that. He was like, no, everything has to be down one cable. It's good. Like, basically on the you could the problem was they basically had it on the first display, which they called the megapixel, and basically everything went through the display, through the monitor. So you had your Cube, then you had this sort of umbilical that went straight to the monitor, and then everything came out of the monitor. So you plugged your keyboard or mouse into the monitor and sound and everything.
Wow.
It was a bit bonkers. So basically, if you've got a Cube, you sort of rely on the monitor or this thing called the sound box to get outputs out of it. Wow. And so to recap a Cube, you can't just recap the Cube. You've got to recap everything inside the monitor too, because it basically has this little board in it that routes everything.
I did not know that. Jeez.
Yeah, and it's not very fun. But it was okay. It's just no. So yeah, it's it has its own little unique ways of being. But yeah, so I've got talking of fun discovery, so I'm just going to do, this is our usual format, isn't it? Just like trains of thought that just go off wherever.
The tracks are intermingled and looping, and yeah.
So this is Next Step 3.3.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Which was
let me put your full screen. There you go.
So yeah, so that was basically the last version before it became OpenStep, I think. I think it's OpenStep 4.2, and I thought it would be fun to just have a quick look inside.
Yeah.
There's this fun thing where it has like a little shelf inside. It's quite hard to show. Maybe I can show this if I angle this. There's like a little shelf, and then you get the sort of CDs and this little manual sit on it, and then all the massive manuals are next to it. And what's fun about Next Step 3.3 is you can install it on a lot of different platforms, because basically they made a development environment that was very easy to recompile stuff for different platforms. So this is Next Step for Intel and Next computers. So you can still install this on like a Next Station or a Cube, but you can install it on Intel.
Wow.
And then they also had for Spark and PA RISC. So Spark is obviously Sun Microsystems Spark stations, and then PA RISC was Hewlett Packard's RISC Unix workstation platform. And so it has all this random junk in it. And then there's the developer stuff. But then here, this is a fun thing. This was in there, but this is from after they were acquired by Apple.
Oh wow!
And
you can see the Apple on it.
Yeah, this is an updater or patches, and they are basically Apple released patches for Y2K bugs and things like that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
So,
wait, is there a year or a version number on that one?
That is patch 2, and it just says up. Oh, wait a second. Let me. Oh, it's sealed. I can't open it.
No, that's
So
good.
I can't see the copyright on the edge. Oh, wait a second. No, there's no date on the center
You need an
piece either.
X-ray machine. That's what you need.
But I know that Apple did release a bunch of Next stuff, because obviously they were doing web objects, which was Next was actually the thing that was doing best for Next when Apple bought them. I've got
Yeah, they based their whole online store over that too. And a lot
check out that.
wow, yeah, it didn't. I think Apple at one point had both their support and their store
Yeah.
through some type of web objects layer.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the web objects was pretty ahead of its time when it came out. But then obviously Apple bought them, and that wasn't what they needed or wanted. So it all went beyond that. But what I found that was fun in here, that I was going to show you, that I was reminded of, because is it in this? Now, of course, the problem is I went in so many boxes today, I can't remember where the thing that I found is.
It's somewhere.
I found
it's in a box.
Something I opened. Oh, I know. It's the other set of manuals I opened. There's loads of goodies in here, by the way, as well. Like should we look at some Next promotional items? Would you like to do that?
Because I want to buy every single one of them, and be sad about the ones that no longer are obtainable through normal amounts of money.
So let's have a look. There's the little. Here's the price list.
Oh boy.
Let's get that out of the way. Okay.
Don't pay attention to that.
I think this is a poster, because it's unfolding. Oh, and we've got ordering instructions. Yeah, here we go.
Scan the ordering instructions. We could spam whatever poor business occupies that address.
I don't know if this has been opened since the. Oh, okay. It's like a really weird. So this is really weird. It's like it opened. It's not a poster because it's stapled.
Oh, but it's like
basically
a big book.
a weird. Yeah, you sort of open it upwards like that. So what have we got? We've got mugs. We got look at this lapel pin.
Oh
yeah.
Oh jeez. Yeah.
I'll have that. And some black turtleneck with the logo on it. There we go.
That is awesome. I wish I was wearing one right now.
We got a tote bag. Very trendy.
Wow.
Here we go. Beach towel. That's what we need. The object is the advantage.
Imagine you're on the beach with a freaking Next towel.
I mean,
you really pick up the ladies with that.
It's totally my beach vibe. And then we've got pens and jumpers. Oh God, look at this jumper. We've taken the next step.
Oh,
I mean, come on, guys.
So is there instructions for just sending a blank check to that address and just them sending you all the goodies?
I wish. What have we got here? So, do you want the phone number to call? It's toll free.
Yeah.
1-800-972-1331. There you go.
So that is. Could you read that off again?
It's 1-800-972-1331. There you go.
Should I call it?
You can if you want.
If I Google the number, nothing comes up. But I have my telephone here. Let's see what happens. What do you think, guys? Should I call it? The chat's at me. Try it live. All right. I'm very very concerned about what this could be, but.
Wait a second. We need to decide what we're ordering. Surely.
I'll take one of your finest necks, please.
I want the executive tea tag and the Euro style table clock. What the descriptions are ridiculous. And a dual powered calculator. Oh, mouse pads, $7.95. Executive luggage tag. You can get gift certificates. What would a Next gift certificate get you? So have you called them?
I guess if you don't know what you want in the catalog, but you know someone's going to be obsessed with them.
Yeah.
All right, I have the number. Yeah. So it's 1-800-972-1331.
Correct.
All right, I'm not gonna put it on speaker because I don't know who I'm calling, but let's see if it rings. Here we go.
This is going to go really well, of course.
Thank you for calling Staples.
Whoa.
Here, I'll do it again so you guys can hear. This is apparently a Staples number now.
Thank you for calling Staples. Our office is currently closed. Please call back during normal business hours of Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. local time.
That is disappointing.
That's a shame.
Although
Oh, well.
I'm glad it wasn't what Sean was suggesting.
Yeah.
Welcome to Next Chat. If you want to be connected to Steve Jobs lookalikes, press 1.
Oh my god. Oh. There's a whole bunch of other crap like golf balls and golf umbrellas and sports towels and mugs. So yeah, that's
cool.
some fun stuff that's in there. I'll put that away now. But what I was going to show you was something else. Although I just thought now it's got someone's like name and details on it, so maybe I shouldn't be sharing it. I don't know.
I'm sure those people don't care.
It is from a very long time ago. Let's have a quick look. Right. It is the. I'm pretty sure that this is what you got when you bought your Next Station.
Oh, like the accessory kit?
Yeah, like the manuals and stuff. And so I've got a Next Station over there, a Next Station Turbo, which is Next Station Turbo. For anyone who doesn't know, they were the fastest Next workstations. It was an 040 at 33 megahertz, but it was still in grayscale, not color. You can get a Next Station Turbo color, which is
was those the cubes or the
sought
slabs?
after. That's the slabs, yeah.
Okay.
So Next Station is slab, and then the cubes. I mean, basically, when it came out, it wasn't called Cube; it was just called Computer. Mm-hmm. I'll show you. What you see on the back of a Next Cube is this. It just says Computer. But the early prototypes, some early prototypes said personal mainframe on the back.
Oh, wow.
Because Steve Jobs was trying to make out that it had mainframe power because it had an 030 chip in it, which was a big deal in '88. But
Yeah.
I don't think it had. It was meant, personal mainframe. Like I mean, I guess sort of like the Macintosh was like your personal computer, and then this was a lot more powerful. So it's like, the personal mainframe, but I'm not sure that's really very convincing. Yeah, so what was fun about this is this has the receipt from the computer being bought from the Computer Emporium at the University of Maryland. There you go.
Wow, that's cool.
And it's even got the carbon sheets behind it.
How much?
So it was sold to someone, I won't say who. It got sold on this is US date style, so that's the 6th of August, 1991.
Okay.
And they bought three things. They bought the mono display, which I was explaining about earlier. That was $699.
All right.
Don't know what that is adjusted for inflation.
Too much.
They bought something called Station Start Point, which I don't know what it is. If anyone in the chat knows, I'd love to know what that is.
That sounds like a Star Wars movie ripoff. Welcome to Station Start Point.
Station Start Point.
Your adventure begins here.
The next adventure, perhaps. And then they bought a Next Station 8400, so presumably 8 megs around 400 meg hard disk, and that was $4,054.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And this is 19. What year was this again?
91.
91. Okay.
Wow. And this is and they bought it at the Computer Emporium at University of Maryland, but the person who bought it worked in the Garland building of Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore.
All right, so they probably got a discount, maybe.
Yeah, they probably got a faculty discount or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
something
they were.
like that.
Next stuff was all aimed at education most of the time. That was the niche that they kind of figured out. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just thought I'd share that because while I was going through that stuff for Action Retro, I'd forgotten
awesome.
that receipt was in there, and it's. I think we last time we spoke, we talked a lot about that kind of personal. Sort of finding those sort of personal stories and little nuggets of history that you just don't find by Googling or whatever. And so that was really quite a fun little treat for me.
That's really cool. That is the thing. Like you can't find some of that information. Just it was printed out. There was no website or whatever for it. So like it only exists in those printouts. So of course I'll be expecting you fully to scan in that ordering form so we could spam that address with orders.
Yeah. Yeah.
So wow, Mingo Higgins said that was $7,786 adjusted for inflation. Wow.
Okay.
I'll take
so
one.
What would that get you now? Can you buy a Mac Pro for that?
I think you could buy like the standard. Yeah, you could buy the standard one with some memory. Let's see. Our furious Googling. They start at $6,000. Okay, yeah, so you could get one and maybe add another gigabyte of a hard drive or something small. You can't buy the feet. I'm sorry, the feet are.
No. Do you mean the feet? Are those
the wheels?
The feet and the wheels, two different things. The wheels,
whatever it is, you can't afford it with tax and shipping. You'll be out of. Sean says you could buy a used Toyota Corolla. You get more mileage out of that, I think. But
I am
7.7.
I wish I had a computer with wheels. Do I have a computer with wheels? No, I have no computers with wheels. Do you have any computers with wheels?
I have something that one of my friends is just envious of heck for. And it's called a skate or something like that. And basically, it's designed for a G4 tower to sit in. And it has these little wheels on the bottom. But I must say, whoever designed this thing, you tilt the machine slightly, the whole machine goes like it wants to just grind on the ground. But I picked up this, I think it was a Quicksilver or an MDD G4 tower. But anyway, I went to go get it, and I'm almost there, and they text me and say, it's not turning on anymore. Do you still want it for this amount of money? And I said, sure, because really all I wanted was some of the FireWire input devices and capture cards and stuff that they had in the machine. I didn't really need the tower, but then it came with this skate and all this other junk with it, so I said, okay, sure, that's fine with me.
I'll take it as long as there's some crap I never need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I do not have one of the Apple server fridges, but my friend Dana from the MacYak show actually has. I think he has 2 of them. So we've been begging him to do something with them, but I have it on good authority that at least one of them is being lovingly restored somewhere. So
amazing! I don't think I've ever seen one in person. I don't think.
I've never seen it in person, and it's one of those things where I've heard about them and I've seen pictures of them, but until recently I must have completely forgotten that they existed. And so when our friend Dana got one of these things, I'm like, oh my goodness, that thing is a fridge. Yeah, it's like a mini fridge, as everyone's saying in the chat.
I would love them for the sheer spectacle of it, but I wouldn't do anything with it.
I don't think I would be able to figure out. I'm just realizing my very fancy lamp here is very much discombobulated, as if it matters.
Do you want to talk about what we're gonna do for? Oh, actually, no. We were looking at merchandise. I was wondering, have you got any more merchandise? Because we were looking at the next stuff.
Yeah,
I found this on my shelf.
What do you have? Oh yeah. Yeah, so I don't have I have some
got a little
things.
pulsar on it.
That is cool. Now I do have some buttons. I have no idea where the heck they are. Actually, I have. Did I put it in my pocket? Hold, please. This is very professional. Waiting for the show, shoving bits of pockets.
This is my favorite Apple sticker.
Oh, here. Let me put your full screen for a second. Hold on. Where's my cursor? Okay. There we go. That is awesome.
This is the best Apple sticker, I think.
Yeah, that's one of the ones you don't want to put on your car because you don't want to ever lose that sticker. You know, that's.
No. I'd have to learn to drive and buy a car. Oh.
You could just send it to me. That's okay.
Here's another badge that I wanted to share with you.
Sure.
My partner got me this for Christmas. It was in my stocking, and it just made me laugh so much when I got it out. So, here you go.
If you owned a Macintosh Performa, what would you do with it?
But I looked at it, I laughed, and I said, "Put it in the bin."
Yeah, some of those are just. I mean, some of the performers are okay, but some of them are just like, why would... Oh, they're just like bottom of the barrel.
They're okay if, like, the plastic holds together.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Yeah, if you have a performer, you rip the logic board out and shove in something that's more powerful.
Yeah. On principle, I do not acquire performers. They're just like... Like, at the time, when I was a kid at the time, and at the time I could tell there was something wrong with them. And, like, I was right. And anyway, this badge is so good.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, I have. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ramble about Performas for a second, but my first experience with one was my aunt. She had a a Performa 6100 series. I think it was 616 or 615 CD, whatever the heck the number was. That they
like
changed
611 could be any number.
Exactly. And I have the box for it in the garage. I still have the machine. I still have the hard drive and everything. It still works. But I remember that was the first computer that she purchased. So it was, thankfully it was a Power Mac, but it wasn't that fast of a machine. But it's really just funny to think about, the times of when people upgraded machines like that. So she, or upgrade to a next machine. So she, not a next machine, but her next machine. And she had the 6100. Then she got an iMac DV Special Edition Graphite. I think it was a 450 megahertz model. And then she had that, and then she got a 2006 Intel iMac, and now she has a 2011 iMac that she got way after 2011, just because it was a used one. But it's just funny to think about, like when I hear Performa, I think of like the Power Macintosh. But recently I got a 630 CD or something, and I can't say anything positive about the machine because I've had nothing but horrible times with it. And someone sent me a Performa 200 to fix, which is basically a Macintosh Classic 2, I believe. That's very weird just how they've rebranded them. But one of my videos I did I think it was the G3 all-in-one rescue video. I had some footage of like a Performa and an LC, and someone commented, "Well, you say it's a Performa, but on the badge it says it's an LC." And I'm thinking to myself, it's not worth responding to this because anybody who's a Macintosh dork knows that it's only difference in name and software only. It's the same exact hardware. Maybe if you got a modem,
Yeah, they stuck at ease on there just so you couldn't use it. So...
Oh, man. I'm sorry. Let's continue to non-Performa things.
It just reminded me that back at my folks' place, there's a whole bunch of, I think I mentioned this last time too, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm looking forward to picking up, including a boxed 512.
Oh.
And one of the things, I got a lot of stuff off this great collector. And one of the other things is I couldn't resist. It was a boxed At Ease. I could not resist it. Even like I hate it. At Ease is like the worst thing ever. But the fact that you could get it in a box and that people would pay for that, like
see, I have a weird relationship with At Ease because when I was in elementary school, all the Macintosh LCs and Performas that they had, or whatever they were the old pizza box ones. They were all running At Ease, and I thought it was so cool because it's like you didn't have to open folders; it was just the applications were there. I didn't realize, obviously, it was restricting us from doing things. It was just showing the programs there. But I remember
you keyboard shortcuts to quit it. Or
yeah, and I remember trying to do that at home, and the closest you could get was the launcher. But I remember at one point I was like trying to figure out to download At Ease, and it was still, you had to pay for it at the time. I'm like, that's, but, well, if the Performa was also released as a Quadra devilish design, then it doesn't count. So the Quadra 605 is okay. Even if it was rebranded as a 475 or whatever the heck it was. But,
the 605, sits apart from all the others with its, I mean, it's such a weird blip. I would love, that's one of the things that, like, even though it's such a, like, mundane machine in lots of ways, I'd love to hear the story as to, like, why did they make it a new case? Like, the LC475, former 475, already existed.
I'm going to write
They were selling them.
That's a good question.
Like, why did they stick that, like, in a new case that wasn't going to go anywhere when they were already starting to make Macs with CD drives and stuff like that? Like, why? What was the thinking? Like, I'd love to know the story behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I could only assume maybe that, I mean, you think of Apple at that time, I think they were trying to save a penny anywhere. So why wouldn't they just reuse, existing cases? And then, I mean, I guess maybe they thought that the design was a little dated, but I mean, it's such, I mean, yeah, it's a nice subtle change, and I love the design of it, but it is a very interesting question. If I ever meet anybody at Apple who knows that, I will ask them.
That actually, it reminds me of something that's not really related, but I was thinking about Apple designers. I learned a thing in the last week, which I was quite pleased to learn, which is I was listening to someone did this. Derek, who does Mac Folklore Radio. I hadn't realized that he's done like a round 2 because he used to just read the Apple Folklore site, the Andy Hertzfeld site. But he started maybe a year ago a second slew of stuff where he's just reading interesting articles from like Macworld or wherever, and it's really good.
Does
And
he have
one
a
article,
website?
yeah, I think it is macfolkloreradio.com or .org or something.
I'll find the link while you chat. And I'll
You'll
put in the here it
Yeah,
is,
and
I got
so
it.
he read an episode which is an article about the development of the LC. So it was like late 1990, early 91 when was that the right time? Anyway, when the classic, the LC and the 2SI got released as the first like affordable Macs, and he was talking about the LC, and it was had interview bits with the product manager on the LC team, and he said, and it's this guy called Bill Goins, and I was like, I know that name. And shall I tell you why I know that name? Now I really hope that I write about this and I'm not going to be embarrassed later. But I'm pretty sure that that name is written on the motherboard of the Dynamac. So I pointed because it's over there. So the Dynamac being the Dynamac, obviously the conversion kit for the Macintosh Plus, and if you were lucky, you got an SE or an SE30 before they went out of business. And basically, the Dynamac has the original like Mac motherboard at the bottom, and then on top it has like an extra board which interfaces with the screen and floppy drive and the keyboard and various other things, and all the ports interface on it. And on that board, it has got Bill Goins' name silkscreen on it because I think he designed that board and designed the system. And then Dynamac went out of business, and he must have ended up at Apple as a engineering product team manager, and then he worked on the LC. So I thought it was really interesting. And I just like, again, it goes back to like knowing about who the people are behind these things. You can see the little, pathways that they've taken and software's taken. Like there was someone working on the LC team who'd done that before. And that's the stuff that excites me.
That's really cool. I remember the previous Macintosh Folklore podcast. So this is really cool. I have to listen to all of this. I mean, the only bad thing about audio is it's hard to speed up and consume it quickly. But I look forward to listening to this.
Derek has a great radio voice. It's quite he does. What's brilliant is, and I think he talks about this in one of the episodes. The new thing is that he tries to be a bit more bold. And he said he said that he thought he sounded too flat and too serious in his first podcast series, and he's brought a lot more character into this. And it's quite funny. It's good. He does the intonations on things that he thinks should be, done in somewhere other. And he brings in sound effects, and he also splices in clips from other places that make sense. So like if he's done an article about the LC, he might also splice in like John Scully's announcement from WWDC or wherever, or Macworld. He'll splice it in at the end or stuff like that. So
that's cool.
It's really, they're really fun. And then at the end, he'll often do a little epilogue, sort of like, where are they now? Like, what happened with this thing? Or you should know this other thing that relates to the story I just told you. And it's just really, really interesting. And there was another episode where it was an article either by or about this woman called Cheryl, whose surname I now forget, but she's the woman who started Mac Addict magazine, which I've never read because I think it was US only.
Yeah, although I used to subscribe to that. I have plenty of issues.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting because she was clearly a bit of a figure in the Mac sort of journalistic universe, and then obviously it's always remarkable when a woman has made it anywhere in such a massively male-dominated, misogynistic industry. So
that I'll have to contact them to. I have some questions they may know the answers to. So that's
who? Sorry,
the person doing the podcast.
Oh, you mean Derek?
Yeah, Derek. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's and it is just really great. He's done such a great job on the series. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Like I'd say the only bad thing is that episodes are usually about 15 minutes to half an hour long because he reads one article and I'm like, I just want more.
Yeah.
But I think he does a really good job. I've almost listened to like the entire run of a year. So
oh wow. Well, I'll try and catch up. But what's great is I think the Internet Archive has a pretty complete, at least the early years of the Mac Addict magazine, but that was one that my father used to subscribe to, and then later I subscribed to, and it was always like a birthday gift or whatever, like here's the magazine subscription. And they eventually switched over to Mac Life magazine. I think that shortly after that I stopped purchasing them because a lot of the stuff was online, but they were a real like kooky, crazy type like Macintosh or nothing magazine, and it was you got a very interesting perspective from them. They always shipped with the CD-ROM, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I wish I'd been able to play with it. I think we had. There was a few magazines that weren't like the big ones that we had over here that sort of were also ran type magazines in the way, because Mac Addict, I mean, it wasn't really like an also ran, but it wasn't, Macworld or Mac User or the like really big ones. Over here we had like Mac Format, Macworld. There was a Macworld UK slightly localized, and we had Mac User, Mac Format, and the Mac. Which was from the same people as Mac User, but like was meant to be a bit more mainstream, whereas Mac User was much more aimed at like designers, graphic designers, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then there was a thing called Mac Power for a while, but it wasn't great.
Huh.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear the different magazines, because I just assumed, because I had access to it. Oh, everyone has access to it. But it's funny because I'll look up things for whatchamacallit, for videos and stuff like that, and then I'll see a Macworld UK scan on archive.org and be like, wait, what? I didn't know there was one there. But very cool.
Yeah, I can't really remember how that happened. Like, I can't remember if it was like localized or run completely separately. I have no recollection. I don't think I've ever got any copies of it.
That's exciting though. I mean, it's always interesting just to see like another treasure trove that you did not know existed, then you could just dive into.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, right? We're just looking for them, and then we dig it all out and use it all up. It's the next hit.
And it is great to just like, especially for somebody who's new getting into Macintosh stuff, it's like a treasure trove. But I guess we could sort of segue into sort of something that I guess would be helpful for anybody who's new getting into Macintosh, and that is an event happening next month, and that is called Marcintosh, and a lot of people probably have heard about it through various social media means and everything. I'm going to put the link in the chat here real quick, and we'll see if I'm fancy enough with OBS here to actually put a web browser window into our chat here. Let's see, so I could show off the lovely website that is here. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Hold on. But Marcintosh is a really cool concept, and it's sort of like exactly what you think it is. So the hashtag Marcintosh is along the lines of Septandy and December, where you would have a bunch of individuals making videos or content about the same type of thing.
So I didn't know about Septandy.
Oh yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, I think, but I think it's interesting. But what's funny about that is, these things I don't know, they sort of came out of nowhere to me. I was like, what is this? But the thing is, with December and all that stuff, it sort of felt like it was, I don't want to say it was like private or anything, but it sort of felt like it wasn't really for the masses. It was just for like these YouTube people who already knew each other and decided, we're going to do this thing. But for Marcintosh here, and I have the image up on the screen now. It's open to anybody. So it doesn't matter if you're, a YouTube content creator with 10 subscribers or 10,000. You're open to do it. Use the hashtag Marcintosh and you tag your video with it. You go to marcintosh.com. This is the website that I'm showing on the screen now. And there's some little things here, some rules and stuff like that to follow. There's a nice little Q&A of what to do and what not to do. This has some excellent content on there. I have to thank Joe and Ron for really kickstarting this. So you could follow them on Twitter or spam them on email if you want to. But there's a great resource guide here. So if you do want to check out more information about Marcintosh, please check out that resource guide. And I had to move the window just a little bit higher so we could see some of the dorky things at the bottom here. There we go. We have a bit of a web ring going on, and of course a little under construction thing. Let's see. I'm I'm not too fancy with this, so there we go. It's gonna look a little ugly for a second, but yeah. So obviously, if you go to marchintosh.com, you have a little hit counter there because you have to have a hit counter. I mean, how else are people gonna know how popular your website is? And I have to again thank Joe and Ron for setting this up. I just put up the website there with the domain name, but it was really their brainchild, and there was some great information on the site. So anybody who's interested in that, please go check it out, marchintosh.com. Obviously, it starts in March, so if you want to do something, you could plan it for then. Just hold your horses a little bit. You don't want to start too early, but I think it's something very exciting, and I'm very, very cool to just wait and see like what comes out of this, because it's going to be a lot of smaller creators, I think, but it'll be very interesting to see if like some larger YouTube technology people take this on, and it doesn't have to be YouTube too. I just wanted to say that like if you want to make content for this, like a blog post is fine, photos are fine, like whatever you want to do. It's not restrictive to like one medium or anything like that. But it'll be very cool to see who actually takes us on and how big it gets, because I mean it's sort of weird whenever I see like a big YouTube creator doing Macintosh stuff. I'm like, oh, they're doing a Mac thing. Like, it's it's exciting to me because I don't know. Growing up as a Mac user, it was always like PC was 90% of the things, and if you saw something that was Mac related, you got excited. So hopefully this will get more attention and start to become an annual thing, because that'd be really cool.
We should. Do you want to talk a little bit about? I think we're going to try and do some stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to try and do at least one thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see how many we have to split it up to. But so James and I had the glorious idea, which was not came up 10 minutes before the show, to do a few Marcintosh type streams like this, where we'll be talking about things that may not be directly related to Apple. So things like Macintosh clones or conversion kits and fun stuff like that. Because James has quite a few interesting items that I'd like to see, and I have some things that I want to show James. So anything that's not maybe directly from Apple is still fine, because technically it's a Mac, maybe. So I think that'll be cool. Let us know in the chat if that interests you. But I think that's something that we need to do. And yes, the web ring will have more buttons in there. It's just my laziness to put some stuff in there.
Yeah, I think for if you're doing an event thing like Marcintosh, I think it's just like, I don't think there should be any bar to taking part, of course.
Yeah.
But to me, it seems like a really good opportunity to like share with people who, want to discover more about Mac history, to share some of the more weird and wonderful bits and pieces that happened that sort of, some of it left by the wayside a bit. I think it's just really interesting digging into all of that stuff. I mean, I want to do it anyway, but it seems like a really good excuse to kind of have a bit of fun and play around with some stuff. And I really desperately want to share all my weird clones and conversions I've got here, and I want to see your ones too.
Yeah.
And they definitely fall into like probably two groups. I don't know how we'll fit it all in, but definitely the sort of early ones that are definitely more conversion end of things to keep things legal, and then the licensed ones, of which we have quite a few between us, I think.
Yeah, and that's interesting, because I've never seen the conversions in person ever. I've seen photos. I obviously did a Macintosh clones video about the very early stuff, but I've never seen one in person. So that'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, I think it would be good. And I think have you got a fully boxed Power Computing?
Yeah, so I have a Power Computing Power Center Pro 180 desktop. It's not a tower, it's a desktop. And I got that, I think it was about $150 I ended up paying for that. But it required a bit of a drive. But it was one of those things where I saw it posted, I think it was on Facebook. Yeah, it must have been on Facebook Marketplace, I believe. And I said, wow, it's a Power Computing, machine. And it was just a photo that was kind of blurry. It was taken. There was a carpet, in the background. There wasn't anything really that screamed, oh, this is cool. It was just a photo of the machine. And there was something about it that was just like, I want to know more about this. So I ended up chatting with the guy, and he sent me a photo of the box, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he has the box to it. How cool is that? And I ended up chatting more with him, and of course I obviously went to get it. That was the second clone I got, and I will be doing. So there was a bit of unboxing footage I took of that when I did the previous clone episode. So you're going to see more of that. Yes,
we can unbox this guy, so we can both pretend that we've just got our clone brand new in 1997, or I guess that's about right.
What was cool about the clone that I got, it still had the paperwork in there from the original purchase, and then it had a paperwork piece in there about a memory upgrade and a monitor purchase and all this stuff. And
fancy.
And so I have that
memory upgrade.
Yeah. So they instead of the 1 megabyte of video memory on board, there's 2 or something like that, because it has like an ATI chipset in there. But it was really like an expensive upgrade. Like I thought it was money for a monitor, and then I realized the description next to it said, "Oh, that's a lot of money for memory." So I think I've scanned those in, or I'll have to scan those in, because they're just really cool time capsules. I mean, I was happy to get the machine itself, but the box has every piece of foam and insert in there. It had some games and stuff. It has the keyboard, the mouse pad. You got a power computing mouse pad with it. So yeah, I'd love to do a little video about that, either scripted or live or whatever. So.
Oh, you definitely got to do that. Yeah, well, we can do the crappy live version. You can do the proper one later.
Yeah, get it out of our system. But
I don't even know. Yeah, I can't even remember what's in this box of that one. I did have it set up, I think about 2 years ago. I partitioned it and put so it dual boots into Mac and into BIOS.
Oh, that's
I definitely
right.
know I did that.
See, I've never played with BIOS, so I've never thought of doing that, but obviously that's cool.
It's BIOS is fun. It's a bit silly. It had so much potential, and I mean the visual design of it is beautiful, and I think it had a lot of potential, and I think they didn't really know what to do with it, and they were up against too much competition. I think the market was too established. I think I said something slightly controversial about BIOS on Twitter, and Jean-Louis Gasset actually atted me. It was terrifying.
When was this?
This was maybe like 6 or 9 months ago when I got. Wow. I think it's when I got soon after I got the B boxes, and he atted me, and I should find what he said.
Please,
it's quite funny. I'll share the link with you.
Do you want me to put it on the screen, or are you too embarrassed?
I don't mind. I'll see if I can find it. It's from quite a long time ago, but oh god, it was quite scary. I think I atted him, which I probably shouldn't have done.
So you were the instigator.
I probably was. Probably something dumb like that. How on earth do you find things on Twitter?
I'm gonna use my Google Foo to see if I could find it.
I have no idea how to find things.
Let's see. Up here it is.
You got it.
Yeah.
How much of an idiot does it make me look?
Is it the one from May 11th?
That would sound about right.
All right, let's put this on the screen. We can react to it together.
Oh god, I'm going to regret this.
All right,
this is making me nervous.
If I could show this here, and let me just adjust the window here so it actually is. There we go. There we go. So you're saying, well worth looking up the history of B, founded by Gasset after he left Apple, along with Steve, who was the original Newton team. The computer is a strange little beast, a bit like the original NeXT computers. It feels a bit on the slow side. And then he responds, actually, it was very fast, as this intro demo shows. Still defending it after all these years. I guess you hit a bone there. You hit a bit of a soft spot.
He's got a Medium blog that he updates. I don't know if he still does, but he was doing it then, and he wrote the story about like founding B, the lead up to it, and a bunch through it, and it's really well written. It's really good, and I do get the sense that for him looking back now, he kind of sees all the mistakes he made.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably a fairly decent chap, but I think he gets irritated by things. But he went on to be less defensive. There was a bit more chat back and forth between us after that.
Because
quite
he
fun
got
that landed.
He got 34 likes. You only got 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not Jean-Louis Gasset, am I?
Of course. Let's take a look
But
here.
yeah, no, it does. Those machines are a bit on the slow side, but I also think there might be something wrong with the machines I have as well.
Oh.
In his defense, I think they need a bit of fixing up. Yeah, so
That's hilarious. That's really cool. It is fun. I mean, your pictures are beautiful too. I mean,
thank you.
Look at that. That is just fantastic.
But luckily, he didn't see the failures thing, or maybe he did. Failures comment with some contemporary music from the era. Some
Wow.
British drum and bass there.
A couple of failures. You really ticked them off there.
I know, but look at the industrial design of those. So brilliantly mad. Like, I love how weird the design of both those machines
and the
are.
LEDs that you could explain a little bit about those. When I heard about those, it blew my mind.
Yeah. So the you can see the green stripes either side, just below the floppy disk drive there, in the case, and they are CPU meters. So when you're using a lot of processor, they go up and down. It's really fun, and because it's a multi-threaded, multi-processing system, you see all of that going. You see one processor and the other. When it starts up, it actually tests one processor and the other, so they go whoop, whoop, and it goes whoop. But I read something
a bit like an Xserve, yeah.
Yeah, but I actually read something last week that I told you last time that originally I had this AT&T Hobbit processor, and then AT&T stopped making that, and so they had to switch. And actually, they switched to to using the PowerPC 603. And what I read is the 603 was never designed to be a multi-processor system. The 604, I can't remember that it has to have something in the CPU that really helps with that. So basically, they had to hack their OS to run the 603 as multi-processor, whereas 604 would have been fine. But presumably, I think it's because either 603s were more available or definitely cheaper.
Because I know the 9600 had dual 604Es or something like that. So that would make sense.
Yeah, and you wouldn't get dual 603. It was just never designed for it. And there was one. I was just looking at the chat at what Dana's saying. Like, there's one bit of software I think you get Bbox. I haven't got it or seen it yet, where you could make it, instead of being CPU meters, VU meters, so you could play
that's cool.
Yeah, so you could play what would you have been playing in there in the late 90s, mid to late 90s? I don't know.
Well, you could just play Doom and just have the sound.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool.
And I have played Doom on my Bbox, and it was really slow. Sorry, Jean-Louis. It was really slow.
Jean-Louis Gasset is gonna send me some nastygrams, because I mean, it's just history, but obviously he was not a licensing person, and so my clone video, he has that quote where he says, I've known as the great Satan on licensing, and he goes on, but I mean, it happened, so I can't.
If you ever want to try and get him on OpenTalk on your show, just don't mention that I was on it.
He's gonna take one look at you and go, nope, can't do it, sorry. That guy.
Oh yeah, Soundgarden, and that's perfect.
Wow.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Great reference, thank you.
Good job, Sean. Oh wow.
I didn't listen to Soundgarden then. I was quite a music snob in the mid to late 90s, and I if a band was on a major label, I generally didn't listen to them.
Wow. And
really pathetic.
I'm just looking at the comments here. Sean mentions here a story about Jean-Louis Gasset about how he got so mad at Steve Jobs when he held him up against the wall by a shirt collar. I would kind of believe that. And like it or not, I think Steve was one of the types of people who had to experience that once in a while just to, knock him down a peg. Make sure, he knew that he wasn't above it,
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast episode with a guy. What's his name? Don Denman, I think. I think he was. I think he wrote AppleScript, and I think he did a bunch of stuff on the Apple II, III, Lisa, and Macintosh. Mm-hmm. And he said, he was talking about Steve, working with Steve, and he used rude words that were bleaked about what it was like to work with him. So I think it was, you had to have a real strength of character to be able to sort of resist his behavior. I don't think I would be able to work with him.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, there's a lot of reports, obviously, it kind of is like the Walt Disney, type thing where you hear the people that worked with him, have one opinion of him, and then you hear the company's point of view. The company says, well, our Steve Jobs or our Walt Disney was like this, was like that. And then you see people who work with them. It's like, no, they were an ordinary guy. They got pissed off sometimes. They were very awesome sometimes. They pushed people to their limits sometimes, or they had, good habits and bad habits. But it's like, nobody's perfect. But I think that these companies that are, in Apple's perspective, I mean, they can do whatever they want, obviously. Steve Jobs, when he was running the company, I think he had that autobiography taken off the shelves of the Apple Store, stuff like that. So I always take it with a grain of salt. But it's like, I believe a lot of the things you hear about the guy because it sort of fits his character.
Yeah. I mean, I think he knew he had power and he knew how to use it. And yeah, it's not my style. Not my style.
Well, speaking of power, I think you have a very powerful device you want to talk about.
Do you mean this?
Yes.
Do you mean this, Steve?
Oh my goodness. So this is something that we sort of teased about last episode. I mean, Take a look at this, folks. Look at this. So this is the mouse yoke. And could you tell us a little bit about what this crazy contraption promises you?
Well, this is what you use to turn your mouse into a realistic aircraft-style yoke. And basically, if you wanted to flight simulator properly, this is what you used, the mouse yoke. Just so you're clear, this is compatible with Flight Simulator. There you go. You can tell there. I'm not sure if that's an official. I think they must have licensed that because it is the proper Flight Simulator thing, and they've got it on the front of the box. So contents. Here we go. I don't think I've ever got this out before, so we're going to set it up now, aren't we? And we're going to try flying with it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, it's exclusive.
3 hours later, you're going to be throwing the thing out the window.
Yeah, probably. So this is from Colorado Spectrum. I've never heard of them before. I don't know if they made anything else. Do you want to see if they made anything else? See if Google can find out. And here we got contents. 1 mouse yoke, trademark, with shaft, mouse platform, and adjustable table. What do you think? A shaft, mouse platform, and adjustable table clamp? I mean, out of context, that doesn't sound good, does it?
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to call up Colorado Spectrum. Yes, I need a replacement shaft.
Yeah, and a table clamp.
Yeah, and give me 2 table clamps just in case.
What do you sure you don't need a mouse platform too? A platform for your mouse. I mean, and then the last thing here is they say use your existing mouse. So the mouse is not included, I'm afraid. On the front, we've got a kind of, it looks like a Microsoft sort of early 2-button mouse.
Yeah, it looks like a PC mouse.
Yeah, that is a PC mouse. But on the back,
wow,
the sort of I don't really know how to talk about this sort of bondage style usage of a mouse.
That poor mouse.
Yeah, this is definitely the BDSM of peripherals, isn't it?
Did the mouse give its consent before you strap it to there? Is there a form the mouse fills out? I don't know,
but don't let me forget to check what safe word the mouse wants to use.
It's eep. That's what it is.
Wild eep.
So Dana actually says he saw one on the shelf back in the 90s, but he never thought about purchasing it.
Well, luckily, going to make your dreams come true now. So we'll read the back of the box, and then
yes, please, and do your best, like your best 90s hype voice, of course.
Oh, I don't know if I'll have a go. The mouse yoke works with Microsoft Flight Simulator, Flight Assignment, ATP, Secret Weapons, and the Luftwaffe. Battlehawks 1942. So they've got a list of too many games here. I'm not going to read them all. But it ends with, and virtually any flight or driving simulation program that utilizes a mouse for directional control. The thrill of realistic flight in seconds. So
not minutes, seconds.
No. I think it's not going to take me seconds to do this, is it? I can see it's complicated. A new level of realism for software pilots. The mouse yoke adds an exciting dimension of reality to your computer flying experiences, a dimension the keyboard or mouse alone can't provide. The mouse yoke's creatively simple design turns any mechanical ball type mouse into a realistic aircraft yoke. Your mouse's position sensing ball, I mean, come on, sits in direct contact with the yoke shaft, translating yoke movements into equivalent aircraft movements. Pull back on the mouse yoke to nose up, push forward to nose down, back left or right with complete control. The mouse yoke brings you the realism, accuracy, and simplicity you've been looking for at a price you can afford. I mean, come on, it was probably like $20, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So let's check. Should we check the features?
Yes. And I'm afraid that your 90s announcement voice has made Mingo Hagen just go buy one on eBay, so it's all our fault.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
What have we done? $15. See, now I would want one for $15.
I think I bought this for that or less. It was really cheap. It's an innovative and versatile design. Provides the realism accuracy of an aircraft yoke. No installation game port or game card required. No springs, switches, or electronics to break or malfunction. Supports Mac, Amiga, and IBM compatible PCs, laptops, notebooks, and portables. I mean, it doesn't depend on the platforms.
No,
it's just a bit of crap you strap to your desk. Right, okay, here we go. Works with virtually any flight or driving simulation program that you we're saying all the same thing. Right, here we go. Sturdy black anodized base and clamp are extruded from recycled aluminium. Well, that's good. And it was made in the USA.
Well,
so should we open it?
Fantastic. Yeah, I think we have to. And I'm very disappointed because Mingo Hagen seems to have purchased the only one on eBay. And now all my eBay searches will be suggesting things that have the word mouse and yoke in it and will not be that particular device.
I'm sorry, Steve.
I'll let you have all the fun. Don't worry.
How am I gonna? I'm gonna try and do some. This is showing my lack of experience at YouTube. All right. Okay. Here we go.
Watch it fall on the desk. Ooh, look at that.
There we go. Okay. So we've got. Here's the yoke. There we go.
That doesn't look
branded.
too bad, actually.
Yeah, and then
I mean, just look at that. That just screams excellence.
This is the table clamp.
Okay.
It's all nicely labelled. Look, mouse yoke, shaft. Oh, the shaft's in here.
Well, yeah, they have to hide it, of course. It can't be out in the open.
Yes. No, that would be indecent. There's the mouse platform. So this is the mouse platform here. Look at that. It's made out of. Check this out. Proper. That's pretty thick aluminium.
That is probably worth the most out of the whole thing in the box.
Okay, so all right, so it's got little feet and two of them are missing. So I think this got some usage back in the day.
Someone used that to the extreme.
Yeah, I think they did. They did some proper flying, and there's the shaft, which I've slipped out of it.
We've told you again and again, James, not to show that on the stream, but you persist.
I'm sorry. It just slipped out. Oh my God! I have to show you this.
What is
they
this?
Have other products.
Oh my!
A mouse wheel.
See, I'm eBaying this before anybody else can.
Okay, look. And Steve, if you find it on eBay, I can get you $5 off.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, let me just send that coupon to the eBay seller. And go, what the hell is this?
So please mail a reference certificate to order your add-on mouse wheel for only $14.95.
I mean,
you have to have a mouse yoke to be able to use the wheel.
Sorry, wait, you
Steve.
do? You do?
Yeah, you have to have the mouse yoke first. It's an add-on.
Well, I think
look at the poor mouse in there strapped in.
I think you found your next white whale to search for.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have to find the mouse wheel. I have to get hold of what are they called, Colorado Spectrum. Right. So
should we call their phone number?
This is more complicated than I wanted it to be.
Well, I think we're going to use up the remaining time of this just looking at the instructions.
Yeah. Okay. How your mouse yoke works, assembling it, configuring it. Oh my God. Look at all these instructions.
I'm just looking at all the egg puns in the chat and.
Okay, I'm going to move my camera over to where I'm going to set it up so that we can get this going. You can look at my software shelves while I'm getting all the bits together. If anyone wants to look at anything that's on the shelves, let us know in the chat.
And we will ignore your request. No. we'll tease you. What is that? You want to look at the mouse yoke more? Sure.
Just don't get too excited about what's on the shelves.
Oh, we need like a bell, like ding. Oh, we're such dorks. I love it.
Right, okay. Here we go. This is like IKEA or something. I've got to like. Okay. Oh god, they just keep explaining how great it is instead of telling me how to put it together.
I've already bought the damn thing. Ease up on it.
Right.
Come on.
So I have to place the mouse yoke platform on my desk or table. Right, I'm going to put it over here where it's going to be set up just here next to my Quadra.
All your Macs are looking at this device going, oh, you're not strapping my mouse to that thing.
No, exactly. Oh, I see. Okay, look, it's got some sort of elasticated bit on here. This is the mouse platform, don't forget.
So that's where, that's where you put the mouse.
Oh, the poor
mouse.
Okay, so that goes like that. It's not going to
have a choice.
That goes there. Okay. Then I insert the clamp between the guides and the platform and twist the clamp knob until the platform is firmly secured to the desk. Right, okay, here we go.
And if you break your desk, it's not its fault.
It's okay. Luckily, it's a very thick desk. Here we go. Right, I've got to slide that in there. Oh. Taking the clamp to the very limits. Is this exciting? Maybe we could start a YouTube channel of just assembling things.
We're pushing it to the extreme.
We're going to put these shelves together and then we'll do a CD rack. Do people have CD racks anymore? I do.
Oh, man. That's
because I live in the past.
I had to restrain myself from buying 2 CD racks at Goodwill the other day.
I've got some news for you. The mouse platform is secure.
Mouse platform secure. Roger.
Right, the next instruction is, I've got to twist the clamp knob until the platform is firmly secured. Okay, that knob is fully twisted. Right, slide your mouse cable end first, i.e. backwards or towards you, underneath the elastic seat belt. It's not a seat belt, it's a mouse belt. Anyway, making certain that the mouse is centered on the platform. Right, here we go.
This
is my mouse.
So which victim are you? What's the mouse's name? What their age? You know.
Do you know what? This is one of my nicest mice. It's got the ball in it. It's got the metal ball inside.
Okay.
You know, that makes it really heavy instead of being one of those ones that's kind of like foamy.
Is that
I think this is one of the earliest. Look at that.
Wow.
And it's all in really good condition.
So
anyway,
you're about to strap it in and ruin its long life of happiness.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What's the safe word, Steve?
Eep.
Eep. Right. This feels really wrong. Okay. The mouse is in.
Can you get a bit of a close up of that if possible?
Whoops. There we go. Oh no! Wait a second. Oh, I've done something.
That's okay.
There we go. Right. Sorry.
We'll wait.
There we go.
Oh,
so the mouse is in.
This looks like we shouldn't be looking at this. This is a bit risque.
I'm sorry about that.
That is
a bit wrong,
wow.
Isn't it?
It is a bit wrong. It is fantastically wrong though.
So now
everybody in your house is excited about it.
Yes, my son. I think my son is a bit frustrated that I'm having fun without him. Oh dear.
It's okay.
Sorry.
If you got to go for a minute, that's okay.
Well, you might need to take over for a few minutes.
That's fine.
We're halfway through. We can have a commercial break while we
yes.
We'll come back to the yoke.
Yes, that's fine. If you go off for a second, I'll take all the yokey questions.
Yeah. Can you silence me?
Yes, I'll try. I think.
All right. I'll see you in a mo.
Okay. Oh, it's just me, I think. Let's see if I... All right, hold on. Okay, there we go. So I think it's just me. Sorry about that. Yeah, so that mouse contraption, who has ever seen anything like that? Because I certainly have not seen any device like that. I've seen some weird things on like LGR's Oddware, but I've never seen anything like that. I'm surprised Dana saw one in the store. That's pretty cool. Well, that was naughty. Well, see, there you go. You could. I know some people with 3D printers. You could 3D print your own mouse yoke. Now, it won't be recycled aluminum or anything fancy like that, but that is hilarious. I mean, I'm of course all egg puns aside. I think it's a very interesting idea, but I never would have guessed that somebody. Well, I mean, it is a product of the 90s. Somebody thinking, oh, we'll just put this mouse on something. I am curious how it operates, because you are putting the mouse upside down. So I guess we'll have to wait until James actually tests that out. Oh, man. Yeah. It's like, all right, we have like 15,000 bicycle handles. What are we going to do with these things? All right, I have 10,000 clamps. We got a shipment of knobs we can't use. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, and I'm very curious what the mouse is right side up. Okay, so maybe I just am not understanding. Well, see, look, it from the picture, it looks like the mouse is. Well, we'll see when we get into it. I'm just assuming, but you know, I'm very excited to see this in action in a little bit when James returns. But it's just like, do you strap it in, like as you're opening the application? Because you're not supposed to hot swap ADB devices. I'm very curious if the booklet or the instructions for this actually tells you. Because do they assume you have two mice? Is that the idea, that you have, you know, a mouse plugged into the spare ADB port, or you have a thing like that? Mingo, again, I cannot read your comments with a straight face. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Oh boy. No, it's well within it's well within my expectations for this segment. It's hilarious. I mean, it's live. Anything could happen. Speaking of weird contraptions, look at this thing. So a few of you have probably seen a few of my earlier live streams. This is a monstrosity of a horrible, ugly-looking computer lamp. And it's just horrible. So I actually took this lamp and I actually put some goodies inside of it. So let's see. Oh, we got a mouse yoke here for MS-DOS and Macintosh. Uh-oh. Let's see what this is here. That's a bit much. I'd say for the for the mouse yoke, that's too much for me. Yeah. So this lamp is it's not pretty. We'll just say that. And the design of this lamp. Let me see if I can get the camera closer with it. Oh, no, I can't. So I'll bring the lamp closer, maybe. There we go. So I want to just focus on the absurd design of this lamp, okay? So I'll talk about the modification I did to the lamp in a second, but the lamp here, it's sort of modeled as if the person did not know what a computer is, but they knew what a cash register was. Because like the bottom here kind of looks like a computer because it has these panels and it has these three little whatevers. But then it's just absurd. You have the keyboard up here, like resting on it, like this is some weird desk, and there are vents and whatever. And yeah, it's just a monstrosity. And what I did was I ended up, because this was just the same color as this, and I said, well, this is begging to put a screen in it. So I did cut this out. I put a little television LCD that I had in there. This is just cardboard paper around it. So that is that nonsense. And it looks like James is ready to join us again. So let me bring him back here. Let me make sure he's not muted. Can you say something, James?
Hello.
Okay, he's back. So we're just talking about this hideous little lamp that I have here that
is
It
a
is
delight.
it is a delight, and you know what? It has a little TV in there, and I have a little composite video cable here, so I have to. The viewing angle and such on the television are just awful. So even if I put my logo up there or something, you wouldn't be able to see it. But that is a project I'm going to tinker around with because it is so delightfully horrid that I think everybody likes it. So my goodness,
It's
my
really
goodness.
quite special, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
God.
It is special in a few ways. So where we left where
Yes.
we last left you were strapping a poor mouse that was
Yes.
afraid into that contraption.
So we're at step 2. We're on step 1.
Oh, and I meant to ask you
but
because we were sort of going about this in the chat while you took a break there. Is there anything in the manual or the instructions that tell you like how you're supposed to use the mouse normally to open the flight sim application, or is it just expected you're using this contraption as soon as you turn on your computer, or did they sell you an ADB hub?
I think that's a very good question. So I think they assume that you're going to use it normally and then just strap it in when you're ready to fly.
I guess yeah, you could have that thing plugged in and you could just slide the mouse in and out of the No, I can't.
Yeah, I
complete
think
that
that's the idea.
sentence.
I think that's why it's got its what they call a seat belt. Bananas, isn't it? So step 1 is the assembly, and I'm at. This is so confusing. There are 4 parts to step 1, and I'm at part 3 now.
Okay,
which
so
is taking.
step 1B, step 1C.
Yeah, exactly. So I have to firmly press the shaft with a twisting motion into the yoke. So here we go.
Not repeat what you said.
I'm twisting. There we go. It's in. There we go. Look at that.
My
There we
goodness.
go. It's gonna. I feel like I'm in a cockpit already. Like ready. So
If you were in a cockpit holding that, James, I feel very sorry for anybody you've ever known because I don't think you're going to last too long.
so Steve, I have to read you the rest of step 3.
Oh, please do.
Make sure that the shaft is firmly seated into the handle. Press hard. You won't break it. And then the last part, number 4, is... Now I'm just going to have to get the camera so you can see really what I'm doing here. So step 4 is slide the shaft with the attached handle into the platform. Here we go. How was that for you?
God.
We're in. We're in.
You tell me.
Is it still okay for us to put on YouTube?
I think that there's so many double entendres here that we broke YouTube's checking algorithm.
Okay, so we're all right. Right, so I've got my professional pilot seat here. There we go.
This is so ridiculous, James. This is absolutely ridiculous.
I'm ready to take flight. Okay.
I wouldn't want to be a passenger on your plane. No offense to your beautiful contraption there, but I don't feel safe.
Here's the mouse. I feel so sorry for this mouse. Trapped on the mouse platform. So now what I do, I think I'm going to use the mouse. Just going to slip them out. I'm going to but I wish this is the problem. I don't have if we're a bit more pro, or if I was a bit more pro, I would have set up like a separate feed so you could see Flight Simulator at the same time as me flying.
Fancy,
and unfortunately,
yeah.
I can't offer that.
That's
I can't
okay.
offer that. I can offer you a really badly flickering CRT.
I love flickering CRTs.
So I'm going to turn off the sound because the sound of the engines is both loud and irritating.
I think the
It's
Image
like-
Writer 2 is a bit softer than that. Yeah.
So, and then I have to have the mouse settings ready because what it says here is I have to disable mouse acceleration. So I guess like for a graphics tablet.
Okay.
And it says for Mac, in the Apple menu, select Control Panel. Control Panels, come on. Scroll to Mouse, And in the mouse setting menu, select the desired sensitivity button. That's not. Surely they just mean the slowest. I don't really understand.
Yes,
That's not very helpful, is
unless
it?
you wiggle around your steering contraption as fast as possible and flail around.
Yeah. There's loads of troubleshooting stuff.
Oh boy, I bet.
The mouse ball is dirty. The mouse yoke shaft is dirty. Remove shaft from platform and clean with a dry lint-free cloth. There you go.
Honey, do you have any dry lint-free cloths? I have to clean my mouse yoke shaft.
Right, I've put it on very slow.
Calling up Colorado Spectrum. Yes, you said that the shaft wouldn't break, but it is broken. I need a new shaft, please. Hello?
Here we go. Right. So, I don't really know how to get. Oh god, the sound is on. Wait.
That's okay. I think
Wait
it's
a
under
second.
the menu at the top. I think you could turn it off.
Where is it?
I'm not an expert.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Right. Okay. I need to do. Oh. Do you know what I've forgotten to do?
What?
I've forgotten to use. I was meant to use this keyboard because this one has all the keys on it. So
you need
okay.
the keys. I didn't know you need the keys for the keyboard.
Well, it's fine, isn't it? It's fine, isn't it? I've got my 2GS. Basically, I've got this keyboard plugged in, right? The little one.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great keyboard, but it doesn't have like most of the keys you need for Flight Simulator. But whatever, who cares? We're testing the mouse yoke. We don't care about keys.
Yeah, no, you don't need keys.
So right, I'm getting the mouse in. Oh, I have to turn on mouse yoke in Flight Simulator as well. There is actually a menu
there's
item
an
called
option?
mouse yoke. Yeah. Or
You
it's
know what?
actually called mouse as yoke.
I actually remember that setting. I used to not have any idea what it was, but I actually remember seeing that.
It must have been for this.
I would sure hope so.
So I've slipped it back in. I'll make it so you can see what's happening.
Oh,
there
boy.
we go. Right, I'm going to turn up the throttle now. Throttle to max. Here we go. I'm going to have to describe to you what's happening. And you can't even see my face. Is this the worst YouTube live stream? I'm not really on. I'm veering off the runway already. I didn't even do anything yet.
Our pilot James is experiencing technical difficulties.
Oh, I'm taking off. I pulled back on the stick and I'm taking off. Okay, this does actually feel a bit like well, actually, I have no idea what it's like to feel like a pilot, but I almost feel like I'm in control, which is
I'm just
good.
the scared
I'm
passenger
stalling.
at this point.
I'm stalling.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
Pull back.
Gear
Pull back.
up. I'm putting. I need to put flaps down. That's what I need to do. There we go. There we go.
Something tells me I should have paid more for my airline ticket.
Okay, here we go. This is the worst stream ever. But basically, I'm having to hold the stick to one side because I didn't calibrate the mouse because it's almost impossible to calibrate the mouse. But if I turn gently, and the plane turns gently. It's incredible. I'm actually kind of feeling this a bit. Although now I seem to be stuck going to the left, and I'm having to turn a lot to go to the right. Oh, thankfully though, if you look, I can just turn it forever. So. Oh god, I'm gonna crash. Yeah, this is not good. I'm stalling. It says I'm stalling. Oh god.
Let me know when I should start praying.
It's not going well. I'm glad I've got no passengers. I'm still stalling and I'm flying straight towards...
What are you talking about? I'm right behind you.
I don't know if I'm doing let's just say the frame rate is not great, so it's hard to tell, but everything's green. Oh, I was about to say everything on the screen is green and then it all cracked.
So you died on your first flight. So how does that how does that factor into the review of the mouse yoke?
So here's my review of the mouse yoke, right? So I played this last night with just mouse and keyboard, and I felt totally out of control. And actually, with this, I feel a bit in control. Maybe it's just because I've got something sturdy to hold on to while I'm crashing. I don't know. But,
it's just a placebo effect. You have something to hold on to.
It felt okay, but look, I just have to show you. we have to look at what. Can I flip this camera around?
There you
Is that
go.
gonna
Yeah.
work? Yeah, there we go. Look, I want everyone to see what it's really like,
Wow.
all installed. And look, there, just to prove that I did have Flight Simulator up. There you go. There it is. I mean, I guess I could try flying it like this.
That is
holding.
Wow. Oh, you're.
And you can pull it.
Oh.
You look, and you
Oh.
see, there's the. That's for
Does the mouse like
I
that,
can't
or is
remember
it,
this.
or is it sad now?
I'm taking it out now. The mouse feels ashamed.
The mouse didn't sign up for that.
Are you okay?
Help!
Yeah, it's okay.
Eep!
Yeah.
Eep! Eep!
So there you go. That's the mouse yoke.
Wow.
So no, I'm quite glad because I'd never tried it before, so I'm quite pleased about that.
I think the presence.
Thanks
of
for
the,
giving me the opportunity.
Of course, anytime. I think the presence of the Quadra 700 makes up for any silly insanity that just occurred during this stream.
It's the Quadra 700 is a very serious machine.
Yes.
It doesn't take any of this kind of silly business.
It's saying you're plugging what into me? What are you plugging?
Yeah.
How dare you?
So there we go. That's it.
That is
The mouse yoke.
And so does the mouse yoke? I guess you said it works for IBMs also. So I guess there's or PCs rather. But I guess it doesn't really matter what you plug into it.
So you can strap any poor thing into the seatbelt. And I will use the term seatbelt because it seems to be the official term they use.
It's the YouTube safe word that we're using. Seatbelt.
Yeah. Congratulations, you have purchased a quality product made in the USA that should give you many, many hours of enjoyment.
Oh, we've had at least an hour of enjoyment so far.
So it says here you can use it Microsoft mice, Logitech mice, IBM PS2 mice. Yeah, I mean everything. It's even got the keys for disabling, recentering the mouse and stuff. Okay, so I could have recentered the mouse if I bothered to read this manual, and that would have helped me from sliding off the runway as I did on my first takeoff.
No, that was okay.
Well, there you
It's
go.
intentional. Did you try and just use the finder with the mouse? I'm very curious. I'll switch back over to your
I
full
haven't
screen.
tried that.
Let's.
Do we need? Okay, wait. I need to turn on the Quadra again.
Yeah, it's well worth
And I'll
it.
do that. Okay, let's do that. And maybe I can even set up the camera so you can see.
Yeah, if you
what I'm
maybe
doing.
set it up a bit further away or something.
Yeah, that could be good.
Put you on the spot, of course, but.
I know. Let's hope this got fast startup. It's got a 601 in it,
Ooh.
so maybe I don't know if that makes it start faster.
How much memory you got?
It's quite fun because you. Oh, more than I need. That's for sure.
What were you going to say? It's quite fun.
I'm not sure. Oh,
'Cause
what I quite enjoy is when you have the PowerPC 601 upgrade card, you get a different startup sound. You get this sort of violins.
Oh wow!
Instead of the. Although I do prefer the Quadra startup sound personally,
Yeah.
but it is fun having this weird other startup sound. Right, it's just coming up. Okay, so we've got to navigate the Finder using the mouse yoke. Okay.
Yeah, just
that makes a lot of
just
sense.
curious. Yeah. What exactly
I don't know
it
how
was
to, like-
not designed for. Yeah.
What I'm trying to figure out is how I can show you. Maybe this view here will.
Oh, that's beautiful. There you go.
If you can
Yeah,
look over my shoulder,
that's it's
what's happening?
we're very.
Can you see?
Yeah, it's.
Okay,
I
can you see
think
the
so,
mouse
yeah.
yoke? Okay.
It's there.
Oh wait, I
it's,
think if I do that,
Well,
is that
let's see.
okay?
We have to wait for it
Is that
to
better?
catch up because I think it freezes for a second every time you move it a bit. It's like
you
it's a
see
bit
it
of a
okay now?
slideshow. I don't know if it's because it's wireless or what.
Why is it all suddenly slowed down?
It's to set the mood.
That's weird. It's kind of the frame rate is really slow for
Maybe
me
it
as
just
well.
got angry at you.
Oh, that's
Now-
weird.
now
Let's
you're
have
good
another
here.
go.
Yeah, let's try it again.
Oh, okay, right, screw it. We're gonna have to use the front camera. Sorry.
That's okay. It looks more gritty and realistic with the front camera. This is
Okay.
very much a voyeuristic type view anyway.
This is like the weirdest thing I've done in a long time. Oh god, and I'm gonna have to hold it with one hand, and this
You do whatever makes
Okay.
you comfortable.
Okay, right. So I'm gonna do it from. I'm gonna strap the mouse in now, so no one thinks I'm cheating.
Help me.
Like I'm not gonna get it into a good position or anything. I'm just gonna get it from now, strapped in. Right. Okay. Here's the finder, and
Oh,
here we
boy.
go. Right. What am I trying to get to? Should I try and get to the Apple menu? Oh look,
Yeah,
can you see
yeah,
the
try.
mouse cursor moving? Can you
No.
see the cursor moving?
But you tell us where it is.
Right. Right. Oh, okay. Can you see the cursor moving, or is it just flickering horribleness?
I could kind of see it, but it is flickering.
So basically, what I'm having to do is because obviously it can. Yeah. So there's that position there is about the bottom of the screen, and then when I
Okay.
slide it up, there we go. I get to the top of the screen,
Now,
but I'm having to reach over to click.
is it inverted? Like, are you going up to go down, or?
No, in to go up. It's
Okay.
actually right. This is good. And then that turning right gets me there, but this is really slow. So I'm kind of there gets me about a quarter way across the screen. So I'm having to it's kind of like
I see the cursor
being
now.
a
Wow, that's
truck
yeah.
driver. I need one of those wheels with like a knob on it so I can just keep
Yeah,
turning it.
it's very
Because-
smooth.
Yeah,
It looks very smooth.
but I have
Wow.
to. So but yeah, we'll have to set up a proper feed of the screen, so with a sort of picture in picture, so you can see what it's actually like.
That is
But,
that is beautiful.
I'd say this is the main problem with this is that I have to reach for the mouse button to do anything.
Yeah.
But there is something. It's quite a strange sensation. Like someone else is using the mouse, yet I am using the mouse. It's quite
Yeah, you're
weird.
controlling it, but you're not directly controlling it. It's,
Yeah. And
it's that poor
it's
mouse
weird 'cause
just screaming. Help!
up and down is very quick, but left and right is a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I guess.
So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess. I mean, that's a fantastic contraption.
I am not going to recommend this to anyone. And now I'm trying to get to shutdown, and I've got to hold down the mouse button to keep the menu open, and now I'm sort of sliding the
Oh, so the
yoke towards
So
me.
yeah, there's nothing on the mouse yoke that pushes the button, right?
No, it's not clever like that. So there we go. That was it. It felt different, which was definitely good.
So
In an
so
interesting way.
If you were on the board of the Macworld magazine or Mac User magazine, whichever magazine rated things in the instead of stars they had mice. How many mice would you rate this
Mac
out
User.
of 5?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, they're very specific about it being compatible with Flight Simulator. They clearly think that's their market. So,
Yeah.
and I would say, like from the short bit of experience, I am not a good Flight Simulator pilot by any means. And I
Really?
think that actually, I felt like I felt more in control than I usually do. So actually, not too bad. But I do have a Gravis mouse stick up there that I haven't compared it to.
What's the Gravis mouse stick? You don't have to open it up. I'm just curious.
It's this. I've only got a tiny bit of crap I have to move out the way. It's all good. This is the Gravis mouse stick. One of these.
Oh, okay. So like a proper joystick.
Yeah. So but I think it would be better than a joystick because it stays in the same place. You know, like a proper yoke. You know, you move it and then it stays there. And with a joystick, it's always trying to center itself again, isn't it? So
That's
yeah,
true.
that's quite. Yeah. So I would give it.
You could also give
It's
halves.
made out of solid recycled aluminium or aluminum, and it's made in the USA. So that's half a mouse. And what else is good about it? Did it give me the thrill of realistic flight?
It gave
That's
you
not really it.
it gave you the thrill and fear of almost dying.
I mean, I crashed the plane, but I think that's user error. So I'm gonna give it 4 mice.
Oh,
I enjoyed that.
Now, if you asked the
enjoyed that.
mouse, what do you think the mouse would rate it?
The mouse was not happy. The mouse is like, no mice out of 5.
-5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my.
-5.
I-
What's an inverted mouse look like? Actually, no, don't think about that.
Yeah, we already talked about talked
That
about
just sounds horrible.
a bunch of innuendoous sounding things already.
No, it just sounds horrible.
Yeah.
We should move on. No, that was good. I enjoyed that.
I thank you. I thank
I'm
you
surprised.
profusely because I think that's the only live mouse yoke that has ever been shared on this platform, and I think that's going to be my claim to fame after my many years of
excellent.
streaming. Oh gosh, I just feel so
yeah.
sorry for anybody watching this out of context, going, "What the heck are these guys talking about?"
Dana's right. Inverted mouse is balls up. Of course.
Oh boy.
We really got to move on, haven't we? I'm gonna disassemble my mouse yoke, but
Be careful with that
I don't
shaft.
know. I will. I'll be careful.
Oh boy, you can't break it. Remember.
Yeah, it is. It's very sturdy, heavy duty. Don't worry about it. Oh,
I should not be allowed to drink water during this.
I've attached it to the table far too well. Come on, undo. I can't get the mouse platform off.
James is having a bit of a problem with his device there.
There we go. Okay. Right,
I know,
I'm
Dana.
now.
You don't have to say that, Dana. I'm well aware of that. Oh, that looked painful. That looked...
Okay. Right. While I pack this, what's up next, Steve?
Well,
what are we talking about now?
I want to just show off something a little bit related to that. It's not as fancy as your mouse yoke, of course, but as you
Nothing is.
well, of course. I mean, how could one compare? But there is something neat that I picked up a little while ago on eBay, and it's this Q pad by MicroQ, and so it's just a regular controller. But
There's an extraterrestrial gaming on it.
Yes, yeah, and that wraps around too. It's quite spooky. So I don't know if they were going after Vulcans or Klingons or what their goal there was, but yeah. So David is saying you should try a puck mouse with your yoke.
Do you know what? I saw that. I have no puck mice. I'm glad to say
I'll just have to buy a mouse yoke. Now I made an offer on the mouse yoke I saw on eBay because I'm sorry, but $50 is a bit too much even for a piece of insane aluminum like that.
That is too much. Wait, did you find another one?
Yeah. Thomas put a link in the chat.
Oh wow.
It's a guy who has a retro-inspired eBay store, so of course everything is expensive. But I put in an offer,
one of those.
but I'm not willing to pay $50 for it. Unless people just want to generously super chat, then I'll buy it live right now. But I'm trying to restrain myself and wait for it to wait for the seller to realize probably $25 or $30 is the best he's going to get with that contraption. But anyway, this is this is a Q pad by MicroQ. So it's just a game pad. But what I wanted to show off is I never really saw one of these, but I had one of these joysticks. I have one somewhere. And those joysticks look a bit familiar to me because I have one. And but what was cool about this, let me open up the box here. Because it's in very good shape, so you can actually see everything is just all nicely in there. But what surprised me about this, and I think you'll get a big kick out of this, James, once I can take out the styrofoam here. All right, so we got Inside Mac Games magazine advertisement, so you could subscribe to this wonderful magazine.
Nice.
So this is.
Oh yeah. How long did that last?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a subscription to their wonderful publication. Thank you, Mingo.
I think I have a game collection somewhere that came with that as well.
Oh, okay.
But I have no idea which. I have to just. But I've seen that flyer.
I have to give Mingo Hagen an eep,
cool.
So I apologize for your ears in advance.
Oh yeah.
Eep.
Yeah,
thank you very much. We have a registration card because you got to register, of course. But this is really cool. This is one of the cool things. So you have an advertisement here, and of course I've scanned all of these in, and they'll be up on Macintosh Garden shortly. But you have an advertisement for that joystick, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And
I like the sort of the 3-pointed one.
Yeah.
With a sort of curve at the back, sort of triangle with a curve. That's pretty cool.
And then on the back you have like their trackpad
Ooh,
type
yeah.
little things, which are neat. And then they have another flyer, which is basically the same thing. And I don't know why they have both in here.
Nice.
But that's both of them. And then this is really cool, though, because I've never seen information about this other than shoddy pictures. This is the top hat.
Yes.
And
So cool.
This peripheral adds 4 PDS slots to your Macintosh LC or Performa, and gives you the ability to shove 3 additional hard drives in there.
Ooh. So you could have an Apple IIe card and an Ethernet card and an accelerator in there.
Yes, but you have to switch
That would
them.
be so cool.
Because
so
those,
you can only have one at a time.
well, see, it will say. Let me find where it says it, because it's very interesting how they tout that as a good feature.
Can I just say, just for a second, it's got the best name ever.
Oh yeah, I mean, it goes on the bottom, but it makes your Mac LC the top. I don't know. So it says accelerator cards. Wait, where is it here? There's something about here. Many PDS cards work simultaneously with others. However, LC and Performa were designed to use only one PDS card, so problems sometimes occur when using more than one card at the same time. To prevent conflicts and to make sure card selection easy, Microcube provides a convenient card switching system on the back panel, so you can turn each card on or off individually. For a current PDS card compatibility chart, please see your dealer.
They provide the problem and the solution.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm failing to think of a Macintosh that has more than one PDS slot. So
there aren't. I mean, there's no reason to do that.
So why would it say many PDS card slots work simultaneously? Are they just saying in their testing? Because that's
what's interesting is actually I'm thinking about like my SE30, and I have got.
Oh, that's right. There's an adapter, like a riser.
Yeah. So that Daystar and other people did adapters. So basically, I've got an accelerator and an Ethernet card and maybe a video card all plugged in, and you can do that. But there are limits because you can only draw a certain amount of power, and maybe that's what they mean. Is just like you might go over your power limit.
It does have a built-in power supply, so it has a powerful 38 watt auxiliary powered supply.
Okay.
Because look at this insane thing here. Look at that.
I mean, they could definitely conflict with each other because I think most manufacturers would assume you only have one PDS device in there, especially in an LC, which you could never get anything in.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Look at all those switches.
So, yeah, I mean, I've never seen one in person, so this flyer, when I bought this gamepad just for the gamepad, because I said, I don't have any real gamepads for the Mac.
Flyer was in it.
And this flyer was in it because it's made by the same company.
Q as well.
Yep.
Oh, it's made by the same company, so it is. Oh, cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So
now I want to look inside.
There's at the bottom there.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I've scanned in all these goodies. Oh, there you go.
I have this one.
I have that, and I made a sudden realization of that, James. So I have the same one, and our quote unquote kids computer was the Macintosh 2CX after my father got a 7500 Power Mac. And for the longest time, I assumed my Gravis gamepad didn't work. While recapping my 2CX, I realized maybe me, we don't know, I had a few brothers, plugging in the serial connection for that gamepad, I must have broken a port or shoved a pin in the wrong spot or whatever.
Oh, no.
And whenever I would plug something in, it didn't work. So I assumed the gamepad was broken. And so from then on, I thought, well, those are trash. They don't work because it clearly doesn't work on this Macintosh. I realized I screwed up the port on the back of the computer, which I have now fixed. It's okay. But now I'm trying to really think, did I throw out that gamepad or do I still have it? I think I still have it. But
I can see curious. There's some stuff in the background. Maybe it's in there.
Yeah. 3 hours later, I found it. Yeah.
Try looking. Just have a little look in there.
But Dana makes a good point because this top hat thing, he's looking on Google. He can't find anything about it. I have a feeling it actually shipped just because of the the detailed photos and the documentation here.
And I've seen other things like that. Like Micromac did an SE30 thing, and I've
Yes.
actually seen another thing just like the top hat as well. And I wish I could remember anything more about it. But I've got a feeling that Micromac made an LC
I've
add-on
seen
thing that was really similar as well.
Yeah, I've seen a different LC add-on one that is sort of like in layers. Like you could, it was another company, I think. But I've seen pictures of that one. So when I saw this, I had no idea this existed.
Oh my god, the Micromac Power Workstation. You should look that up.
Micromac Power. Can you send me a Skype link, and I'll put it on the the stream.
It's on the 68K MLA. This looks really cool.
Tech and Music says the Micromac site is still up. Oh my goodness.
Micromac made loads of wacky stuff. It's really cool. So there's the link.
Yes, this is the one I remember seeing. So let me pop this open here. Let's see if I could get a picture of this. So this is for this person has it in a LC475. So let's try and bring this up here. Where is it here?
And then the thing they made for the SE, which is in my book that I showed last time, the Bob Brand book.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this, which is from the Bob Brand book. Yeah, that is so cool, isn't it?
So
I have Power Workstation.
I have the power workstation up on the screen now. And yeah, I remember seeing this. So you could obviously put in 2 more SCSI devices into here. Obviously, this guy has a CD-ROM and a ZIP 100, it looks like. And that's made by Micromac, so that's really cool. And then let's look at what you just sent me. This is the Micromac SE. Okay.
Yeah, this is an earlier thing they did, and it's in the Bob Brand book about making your own Mac from a kit.
And so this essentially makes your all-in-one a desktop machine.
Yeah, exactly that. And
that
actually,
is cool.
there was one on there was like a manual for it on eBay. It looks like on WorthPoint there's a manual for it that was on eBay, which has got a screenshot. I'll send you the link for that as well. It's got a screenshot
that is cool.
of it set up with a crazy portrait monitor. But you put your SE in that.
That is really cool.
I don't know what extra it really gives you apart from a different layout. What else can you do with that?
Let's see.
Oh, it's got a whole other board that you can add more stuff onto. I see. Okay.
Oh yeah. And here it looks like. Yeah, it looks. Yeah. So there's. Let's try and zoom into this photo here.
Yeah.
So you have the PDS slot there, and what am I looking at here?
There we go. So 0 slot video board. So that'll be a video board. If it's a 0 slot one, that means it's basically using a clip to go onto one of the chips. So it's probably riding on the video chip or something like that.
It looks like this plugs. So this 0 slot video board. It looks like where we see the pins of this on the screen to the right. It looks like that's plugging into the PDS slot.
Oh, that's into the PDS. You're right. Yes,
and
I
then
see that.
There's
and then
this slot like
providing
that.
another one.
Yeah, I kick myself because back in 2007 or so, there was a Macintosh LC3 or something like that. And I opened it up because I was going to buy it. It was either that or a workgroup server. I think I ended up buying the workgroup server. And it had this weird thing on it. Now, it was all like the underside of a circuit board. So I didn't see any logos or anything like that. But it was like this U-shaped contraption that must have been some accelerator board or whatever for the LC. And I just kicked myself for it was $5. I kicked myself for not buying the dumb thing.
Oh man.
I think I had $5 left in my wallet, and it was either the workgroup server or this. And I had no idea that the workgroup server was just a rebranded Power Mac. I thought it was something neat. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah. You just got different software with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate that
exactly.
Kind of thing. When you just don't know enough yet.
Exactly. It was years ago. I was like kicking myself, but I mean, what could you do? That's
Yeah, Micromac. I remember Micromac doing so much cool stuff, weird little upgrades and things.
Yeah, I drove about an hour and a half or so to get. Somebody had an Performa 400, so it was like an LC2 or something like that. But in the blurry photos they posted for sale, they had a Micromac processor upgrade, and so I think it made it 33 megahertz or something like that.
Nice.
And I'm gonna put you on full screen while I go rummage to get it because it's right over
That's
here.
all right.
I know it's.
I could. Well, the thing is, what's on my mind is I wanted to share my complete failures with my Spark Station Voyager, and to give people a little look at the inside because it's just a weird little machine, which is really off topic for this. But
No, that's fine. We'll get to that in a second.
But the idea, yeah, we can. Oh, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I
And
found
then
it.
we'll get back to that.
How about
Yeah,
that? I
brilliant.
actually found what I was looking for. So look at this guy.
Oh, look at that! I recognise those. I love that horrible typeface.
Oh
they use for
yeah,
their logo.
yeah. I mean that just adds to the charm of it. And so we
at
have part number and everything on the back. So this
For
gives
all
you
the worst Macs.
yes. It makes your performance slightly less crappy. So
Yeah.
this is not a 33 megahertz. I'm sorry. This is a 32 megahertz upgrade. That's all you get.
Well,
And then there's the math coprocessor on there. But this is from 1994, made in the USA, of course. But it looks like there are actually two. Yeah, there's actually two
Mistral.
sockets here.
Mistral. Oh man.
So it looks like there's a 68020 socket, and then there's the 030, I assume. I mean, it's
That's interesting. So the only reason you'd have the 020 one on there was to have a faster 020 for the LC, because obviously the LC was one of only two Macs that had an 020.
yeah.
Because it was the two had it, and then the LC. I don't think any other Mac had an 020. So that must have just been like a clock upgrade rather than a sort of straight.
Yeah, it's
CPU
very
upgrade,
interesting
for
because I assume if you just desolder these two components here and put them there, that it would switch to that slot. I'm sure you had to cut a resistor or something like that, but that is, I mean, the I dare to say the circuit board doesn't look too complex. I mean, there are 4 layers, so what the heck do I know? Because there's that little window in there that shows you. But I mean, it looks promising that maybe somebody could, and of course Sean is thinking of dual CPUs right now. I think the Performer would explode. It'll be right next to the mouse there, going eep. But it looks like there's like a clock chip or something that could. I'm very curious if other versions of this came out.
I'm now like, it was probably a money saving thing because it was for a bunch of different models, right? So
Yeah.
they probably had different configurations they could do, and they could just make 10 bajillion boards, and then they can just put different combinations of components on depending on demand and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I can't help imagining like a multi-processor LC now. That's like so. It's got, not only does it have 2 floppy drives, but it has 2 020 processors too.
The Macintosh LC2 Plus. It has 2 floppy drives. It has 2 processors, both which are only clocked during a 16-bit bus, so you get none of the 32-bit processor experience.
God, poor LC.
Poor LC. Yeah, it's a
I mean, it was perfect for what it needed to be. It was like an affordable Mac, but my God, they are punishing to use. So shall I quickly run through what's going on with my Spark Station Voyager?
I would love to hear about your failures because it makes me feel like I'm not the only one.
Talk to everyone about what I was going to do. The poor thing has been doing this thing since we started, saying, help, no display drivers. It wants display drivers.
It's been on the entire time.
Yeah, it's been on the whole time. The Windows server, it's got a Windows Server error. So basically, I got this. So here is the Spark Station Voyager, and it's looking a bit naked because basically I was putting SCSI to SD in it.
Oh, you took the top off.
So can you see down there? Yeah.
We're strapping in mice to shaft, and you're taking the plastic cases off things.
Don't highlight them. Don't highlight it. So because it can only take a 2.5-inch drive, luckily I had an old PowerBook SCSI to SD from yesteryear. It's like a V4.1 or something.
Okay.
And so I got that all set up, which took longer than it should have, but it's like one of those things where your brain is trying to remember how you format these things and get them all set up. So I got that set up and I partitioned it in 2 because what I want to do, which I've sort of half done but it is not working, is have one partition with Solaris on it, Sun Microsystems Solaris on it, and the other because I want to install the Macintosh application environment on there,
Of course.
and basically run it as like a weird Mac, obviously. And then the other partition I want to run NextStep on, because this is one of the Spark stations that can run NextStep.
Wow.
So I cooked my NextStep disk this afternoon and put it in, and I installed it, and this is what I ended up with. And I think, basically, what I think is that NextStep 334, which I think is the version I installed, doesn't have display drivers for the particular video card that the Spark Station Voyager has, because it's a weird machine that is, and I know it runs on here, but what I don't know is how to get that working. But also, like, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to Unix, so I don't know what else I've screwed up.
So James is going to go do a brand new full installation live now, and we'll rejoin you in 8 hours when we figure it out.
I've had a few later than I should have nights this week just trying to get Solaris installed, because the problem with Macintosh application environment is I can't find it. It basically causes a kernel panic every time I start it. And then I have an additional kernel panic installing other versions of Solaris. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I have 2.6 running fine, and it should in theory run on Solaris 2.6. And you get the Macintosh bong, and you get welcome to Macintosh on the screen.
Yeah.
And then it just panics and quits. And so
you just got to reset the PRAM. That's all.
I wish it was that easy. I hate Unix machines. I'm so dumb when it comes to this stuff. And so I was like, right, I'll just install 2.3 or 2.5.1, and neither of the installers like boot. They both kernel panic when they're trying to boot. And I don't know what the problem is. And I'm just burning ISOs off archive.org or WinWorld. So, like, and I have no idea what to check to know if, like, with a Mac, I can be like, okay, it doesn't have this extension, or it doesn't have the right, system enabler or whatever. But with this, I'm just like,
yeah, you're on your own.
No, it is. It's just like, it's just an invisible black box. And when you Google it, you just get all these mad, like, Oracle and Sun documents and huge Unix nerds on forums saying all these things. So I'm like, I have literally no idea what you're on about. Like, they're just letters. They're not even words. They're just letters in different order. So what I'm hoping is that next time we chat, I'll finally have had some sort of breakthrough. I'll probably put it on my Instagram and Twitter when I actually succeed.
So anybody who has tips for James, please go spam him on Instagram and Twitter, and give him a baby's guide to it.
The poor Voyager, I've put it out its misery. I'm going to turn it off now. But it is a beautiful machine because it's so fun, and it's just got this beautiful active matrix 1-bit display, which will look really cool with Mac on it. And I have no idea what NextStep's going to look like. I don't know if NextStep will like running in 1-bit at all. So that could be interesting.
You've abused a mouse today, and now you have abused a Sun station. I'm afraid to ask what's next.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, just because it's fun, I might as well just show you this without a cover. You can see. Oh wow! I'll put another light on it. You can see the board down here, and there's the CPU just there. You can see that's an 85 megahertz. Can you?
And what's
that? Tell how clearly you can see it.
What's that 32 card there?
Oh, that's the RAM. The RAM came with these funny little memory cards that you could slot in.
I did not know that.
So there's the CPU, and then down here is the ID PROM. So that's the NV RAM. So that's basically.
Could you point it down a little bit?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Can you see that? Can you see that chip there? So that is basically both a little bit of flash memory and a clock battery all in one. That's like your PRAM equivalent. And I had to replace that because basically they forget their network address and their serial number and everything. Oh, so you have to put that back in, and then you have to program it in forth. So they're like, they couldn't have tried hard. They couldn't have made it harder if they'd tried. It's just. And so this is really lovely, and obviously all tantalum chips, so I don't have to do any recapping ever of this.
That's excellent.
And you've got PCMCI slots, which you don't get on a normal Spark station, and then it's got a floppy drive.
Wow.
But
they all packed it in there pretty well.
Yeah, really cool. And like I said when we chatted last time, built in Scotland.
Wow.
And so you don't get many things built in Scotland, or that you know of. That's quite fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's something that I'd never even knew existed. I mean, my old office had a lot of Sun boxes and things like that, but never anything fancy. It was always the towers or things like that, and they were on their way out when I was there. So, but that you definitely have your work cut out for you, I think, with that. But if anybody
I
is
know.
an expert, please give James a hand. You contact him on Twitter or Instagram, which is Hypertalking. So please do so, because I think I want to see it up and running. So I know
Yeah,
he
if
does too.
anyone has experience of like Solaris 2.3 to like 7, I'm very interested in some help. Because it is painful. It's painful. And actually, if anyone has original installer media, that would be awesome too, like to share, because I suspect that the images I'm downloading have been adapted to work with the emulators that exist, like QEMU or however you say it, and TME or TP. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a whole other world, and I feel very uncomfortable in it. So I just need to get the Mac running on there, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah, that's part of the joy of this stuff, though, because it's sort of an unknown, but you want to get to that state so you could go the one step further and play around with the weird environment application package that you have there, which is really cool. So that's lovely, though. I love seeing that type of crazy stuff.
Yeah, it is a really fun thing, and I think the first time I saw that machine, I was just like, "Whoa! I have to like play with one of them one day." And I never saw one, and then one came up on UK eBay like 6 weeks ago, and
Wow.
I managed to get it for a very reasonable price compared to what they've sold in the past, because they're just so rare and weird. But they came with a bag, and you were meant to like take them out on the road and dial up your server. Yeah, it's for like salespeople and that kind of thing.
That's
quite an odd little machine.
It is a very odd little machine. I mean, I think that's the charm of it, though, too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. I get attracted by the sort of weirdness of these things, and as soon as someone says, "Oh yeah, you can run Next Step on that," I'm like, "Oh, I have to try that out as well."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have. I don't think I have anything that weird. I mean, I have like some PC compatibility cards for Macintoshes. That's about it. Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary there. Although every once in a while, I'll see some neat stuff. But yeah, yeah, cool. So we're getting to the end of the time here. So does anybody have any questions for James or I, or anything like that? Anything you'd like to see on our future episodes? I mean, we've been going for almost 2.5 hours here, but the time has been flying by because we've been having so much fun abusing that poor mouse and so on.
I can keep going, but like with that silly mouse thing, like I said last time, there's more where that came from. I've got maybe not so much. I've got a couple of other bits of oddware that we could try out, which I'd be happy to set up and try out. I could remind everyone and people who weren't on last time what I've got. I mean, I actually think I could probably nominate something.
Sure.
I think we should try out the Kodak Data Show. I
yes,
think we should try this out.
Is that like a remote, or what was that again?
Yeah, it was basically just a remote for your Macintosh.
Oh, I think we need to do that next time.
Yeah, I think we need to try that out, don't we?
And we'll try and perfect your camera angle.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm really sorry about that.
No, don't.
I'm not sure how
apologize.
to solve that one. I don't have a tripod or anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll have to Google how to be a YouTuber or something.
I got these. The best little thing that I got is this. They have these dollar stores in Japan. I think Dacio, or I can't pronounce it. I'm horrible at that. But it's just this little piece of plastic with a tripod screw on the end, and it's just wide enough to fit like your phone. And it has like this little rubber gasket thing, and it was like $1. And they're all over Amazon and stuff like that. But
I'll have to do that.
The simplest one works fine. And then I got this. My wife gave me this for my birthday, and it's this little tripod, so it has the bendable things. But what's nice about this one is this comes off, so it has this little grip thing here. But you have a normal tripod mount here. And the piece that I don't have at the moment, because this goes to like a regular camera or whatever. The piece I don't have at the moment, it's on the desk over there, adapts this to like a little holder thing with a spring that could hold your phone as well. So.
Oh, nice.
And they're not too expensive, but they're very, very useful.
What I'd really love to do as well is be able to stream screen as well and have multiple cameras going on. But I feel like I have no idea how we would do that.
Oh, I was
across the
showing
Atlantic.
my things off without me on the camera. But yeah, just this little tripod thingy. That's all I was showing off. But
Can you do multicam stuff?
I can through OBS. I can, and
Oh, nice.
on Skype you can actually change your camera at will. I will say I've sort of cracked the code on streaming vintage Mac stuff because if you are into streaming or anything like that, you are using these devices that are meant for video game consoles and stuff that are supposed to be for TV resolutions and things like that. So the trick that I learned is to get not a capture, but a AV scaler. So these devices were, for a period of time, very popular. You would get VGA or S-video or composite video or whatever, and you'd upscale it from VGA or whatever the source was to HDMI for a projector, for an office, for a conference or whatever. And these things are dirt cheap on eBay most of the time because now all projectors have HDMI built in or anything, or they don't need these weird switch boxes. So mine is a bit professional one. It's a huge box, but you can get smaller ones. The company that I have mine
would I go
from,
into my Quadra, for example?
well, so the idea is the one I have, the brand is Atlona, Atlona. They make a variety of devices, but essentially you get a VGA connection on one side and you get HDMI on the other. So the idea is you get a DB15 to VGA adapter. So you got the input of the video from the Macintosh coming into the scaler. Then you get HDMI out from the scaler. So that scaler takes the 640 by 480 at 67 hertz or whatever it is, scales that to 1080p out. So then your standard $50 capture box that's HDMI input to USB on your modern Mac can understand the signal, and then you could record it and stream from it and all that fun stuff. So it's a bit of a mind thing you got to figure out
I need
first.
to get myself set up, and then we can.
It is infinitely
we can do Twitch
useful
with the mouse yoke.
And I will say it is much cheaper than buying like the $300 device that's made for DVI and VGA capture. So if you could find the things cheap, you could find, let's say, the USB HDMI capture box is like $50. You could probably get a scaler for around $30. So under $100, you're almost all set.
Oh, nice.
So
okay, I need to do that.
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Brian in the chat says using one to be a TV for their Pippin. Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh
cool.
yes, yeah. He's been playing around with the Pippin. So
I have a Pippin, and I have quite a lot of bits and bobs for it, but I have yet to find something I enjoy doing on it. Like, anyone got any tips for something that's actually fun on a Pippin?
yeah, Brian, do you have any tips about Pippin software? I mean, I know Mingo Hagen asked, and I just responded in the chat. But for those of you who don't see the chat, there's the solution to view it on your monitor and the scaler or the capture at the same time is to use a powered VGA splitter. You can get those for around $10 or so. It has to be a powered one because the passive ones just really don't work. So.
Right, Brian says, I assume that Brian in the chat is replying to my question.
That's very fair.
Or my statement. That's very fair. Yes, it's
Oh, you're doing a net boot.
Oh, cool.
That's fancy. I can't wait for your video, Brian.
Yeah, I've heard of this. So yes, I've got Ps. I've got a couple of versions of it actually. An A2. Oh, nice. Okay. Definitely going to be watching Brian's video about Pippin stuff.
Yeah, I just put a link to his channel, so when he posts that, everyone subscribe to that. I'm staying tuned as well.
Nice.
That's
I will
awesome.
be watching that.
Yeah,
and you can I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but basically the only way that you could get a Pippin to boot you had to have the right ROM to be able to boot it, not from an official disk or from the CD-ROM drive at all. The only way you could boot it is by having the right ROM, and there's only a couple of ROM versions. And I was very lucky to pick up a Pippin that had the right ROM, and actually someone had hacked it, and someone had actually hacked it with a SCSI cable out the back, so you could plug anything into it to boot from. But the bootloader or whatever it is, sorry if it's the wrong term, has now been the whatever it is that makes it like secure, I can't think of any words.
The thing, the important thing.
The thing, it's been hacked. The point is, you can now do it.
So you don't need this fancy ROM. You could just use a standard one.
Yeah. So I think you can burn a CD that has the hacked
I see.
version
Brian
of it in
says
there, and then
Kickstart. Pippin Kickstart.
yeah, that's it. Kickstart, and you can basically boot it off that ISO and then load whatever you want, which you couldn't do before. Which is good because Pippin games go for ludicrous amounts of money, and I think they're pretty much all available for download. So.
Yeah. That's
but the problem,
as if the hardware wasn't more expensive enough. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no reward for it because you spend loads of money getting the console, and then you spend loads of money getting the games, or even if you get the games for free, you spend all this time trying to get it to work, and then they're all just terrible.
Yeah, and a lot of them were, the good ones were either ported to the Mac or the Sega Saturn or the PlayStation. So it's like, you get to experience it on the Pippin, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to play around with one day, but
yeah, it was the wrong thing at the wrong time. They just didn't. It was made for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately. Like, I think it was Apple just basically being like, how can we make more money out of hardware we've already invented? And like, basically, it's a 603 in there, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a very low end Power PC, and it's just really.
It's technically
really
a clone, the way I see it.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, because Bandai manufactured it. Yeah, so it's a weird little thing, and you can boot it into macOS, but it's like a weird version of macOS, and it's not quite right. It's all very strange. But I don't know what you do with it, and the controller is really uncomfortable and really crap. The buttons are crap.
The Applejack.
It's got a tiny trackball. Yeah, the tiny trackball that's really hard to use. Yeah, it's basically.
Oh, I have a CDI. I have a Philips CDI Mingo Hagen. That's a whole other cursed thing, but yeah.
That's from Mingo's home country. That's a Dutch console.
I regret, this is the last thing I'll yammer on about. I was at a thrift store years ago. They had a stack of CDI controllers. Now, if you don't know about CDI controllers, they are stupid expensive. They go for like $50 to $100 for a used controller on eBay. These were all sealed in the box. I took a photo of it, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool thing. Years later, I found out how rare they were. I was a kick in my. I could have bought a 20th anniversary Mac or whatever from all the funds I would have made from that sale.
And you would have got more fun out of it too.
Yes, I would have.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
boy.
Steve.
That's okay. We all miss some things, but I really appreciate you coming on for another long-winded chat because I've had so much fun today.
Yeah, same here. It's been great. I enjoy it. I think we've got to keep doing it. I'm looking forward to doing an episode, at least one in March about the clones. I need to get that all ready.
Oh, definitely.
And if we get time, we'll do some more oddware. Hopefully the presentation remote, the data show, and hopefully we'll if I get the Voyager running, something, anything. Cool. I'll share that too.
Yeah, I mean, there's limitless stuff we could go through, and we promise not to torture as many computer mice next time. Oh, those poor little mice. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming on for the show. I know everyone's probably enjoying their Sunday, but obviously you could rewind and catch whatever you missed. But James, thank you so much for joining us here. I'm just going to let you go and then I'll close out the show. But if anybody has any questions, feel free to tweet James. He's at HyperTalking, and check out his very, very cool retro website, hypertalking.com. And you could find him on Instagram and Twitter, of course, at HyperTalking. But James, always a pleasure. Thank you very, very much for joining. And I hope you just, be a little gentle with that mouse and just let it know it did a great job today.
Thank you, Steve. I'll catch you later. And don't worry, I'll make sure it's well looked after from now on. No PTSD for the mouse.
No, we'll appreciate all the nice soothing blankets and calming music you give it.
I'll see you next time.
Yes, thanks, James. Take care. Oh boy, that was a lot of fun. I greatly appreciated having James on the show. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love talking to him. He has an excellent collection there. So we're going to do another episode coming up probably next month. We might squeeze one in between in there. I have some other guests that would love to be on the show. But let me know if you want to see anything interesting, tinkering around live or archiving stuff. I mean, obviously I do my live streams on my own, but it's always fun to actually, talk to somebody else while I do that, not just talk to myself. So Really appreciate you sticking around. We had almost 40 of you so far, so that was excellent. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's going to be more of these episodes if you like these sort of things. Let me know in the comments section what you want to see next, and don't forget to follow James and myself on Instagram and Twitter. James's handle is HyperTalking. Mine is Mac84TV. This is Steve from Mac84 signing off, and I hope you have a great day. So take care. I'm going to hit the stop streaming button now, and have a good one. Take care, guys. Thanks for joining us.